everybody. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notify button so you know when you're getting new episodes. And we just want to grow this project. I thank you in advance. Without further ado, let's get it rolling. The ShOUT Show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody, I'm Preacher Miles, host of the SOS, the ShOUT Show. Thank you. Welcome. I appreciate you coming on. It's a Sunday. Our potluck today is going to be a topic I've been really wanting to talk about probably for the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I've really been wanting to talk about this because this is an election cycle and I don't want it to be something that goes away. So let me shout out my sister. Sister Ree, what's going on? Thank you so much thank you for coming. And this is a prime example of our topic right here, loyalty. Brothers and sisters, let me get our business straight. First of all, if you're coming to the ShOUT Show for the first time, I want to say welcome. I hope that we're able to provide you a quality experience and we make a compelling argument for you to come back and be part of the ShOUT Show family, the ShOUT Show soldiers. That's number one. Number two, I want to make a special acknowledgement for a dedicated group of people who I call soldiers, who I call family, who've been with me pretty much from day one. And they tune into the ShOUT Show. Now, here's the deal. Everybody can't tune into every ShOUT Show. This is episode number 135, brothers and sisters. But I want to tell you, we've had folks who've come on, added their ideas, added their experience, goodwill, and I just want to say best wishes. And it's given us this really, really organic product. So if you're coming on the show for the first time, what I like to do is I like to welcome people and I ask everybody, please use the comment box because that is the place where you get your shout out. Now, most shows will stop and we'll go to commercial break. I shout you out on the show. You know why? Because I believe that when people put out a certain amount of effort, they should be rewarded. And that reward is not just you being on the show. That reward is me seeing you on the show and us having that interaction. Now, brothers and sisters, let's get to our topic at hand. Whew. Deep breath. The question is, brothers and sisters, I feel like I'm in church. The question is, brothers and sisters, whatever happened to loyalty? Let me say it again. Whatever happened to loyalty? Loyalty, brothers and sisters, is a lost art form. In many regards, it's a foolish game for people who believe that things should be done right and there should be reward for the people that do things right and there should be punishment for the people who do things wrong. Loyalty is the framework. See how I did my hands? It's the framework that establishes discipline, number one, honesty, number two, and employs patience. Because you don't get somebody's loyalty off the bat. Case in point. Just because you become president and everybody wants a job doesn't mean they're loyal. Now, brothers and sisters, you said, preach, what am I talking about? I'm talking about a system, brothers and sisters, that continually lets us down because it's missing important components of society and how we grew up. How we grew up. You see, because real loyalty, brothers and sisters, has accountability. We live in a time now, back in the day, the term used to be snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches. Brothers and sisters, snitches don't get stitches anymore. They get record deals and they get promotions. And we're left out here with this seemingly archaic idea of how we do right by one another. Now let it be said, I try to be a man of integrity, a man of spirit, but I want to put it out here. Some of my greatest relationships have ended because there was a lack of loyalty. See, loyalty is not what you do in my face. It's not what you say in my face. It's what you do in the unseen when I don't see you. See, that's a thing you don't understand. See, loyalty is a parallel characteristic. It's a parallel loyalty, characteristic of God. You see, God is loyal to each and every one of us until we are disloyal to God. Now, see, now I took it out that way. I took it to a different situation. People say, preach, what are you talking about? God is loyal to you, even though all of us are disloyal to God. We ask God for favors. We ask God for mercy. We ask God for compassion. And when we get it, we are disloyal. We will go back to the same wretchedness that we were doing before. But what am I saying? It means that true loyalty we will never understand. But if you look, brothers and sisters, at the model of God, it gives you a template, if you will. You'll never be 100% loyal to everything. You will never be that. You'll be 100% to the idea of being 100%, but you'll never be 100%. Let me tell you why. Because we're not perfect. And I'm not talking about 100% loyalty, brothers and sisters. No. Only a fool will give somebody 100% loyalty. You have to have parameters. When I say parameters, it means if you give somebody 100%, there's no room to grow. There's no room to matriculate the different type of ideas. There's no room to frame and test that loyalty. I'm watching this rapper, Tech 6ix9ine, I don't know what he is. The boy got, Latino boy, got all different color hair. This boy told on everybody. Now here's the deal. His buddies did him wrong, but he broke the law too. He broke the law too. And to not have to serve his punishment, he dimed out his brothers. You see what I'm saying? He dimed out his brothers. They broke the law, he broke the law. Now, I'm not talking about loyalty and that type of thing, but it's the ability, if you will, the ability, the awareness to understand that you got to stand on your own 2 feet. Let me give a shout out to Sister Sakina. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. This idea of loyalty is missing. Thank you, Tekashi 6ix9ine. You see, because I'm old school. I'm old school. There was a code. Now, these young kids around here, I don't even want to put it on them. They don't really live by codes because the parents before them don't live by codes. The adults that they see these days don't live by codes. If I were a young man, impressionable at 10, 11 years old, and I looked at the foolishness I saw here, I wouldn't understand what loyalty is either. Because loyalty has become a leverage for control. It's become an apparatus that becomes it becomes manipulated over and over and over again to the point that we don't know where loyalty begins and where it ends. Your first scope of loyalty, I say in a God-sent package, is your parents. Your parents are loyal to you. Doesn't matter how much you screw up. Doesn't matter how much you fumble, you fail. In their heart of hearts, they're going to let you fail because you're going to fail on your own. You know what? But they're not going to let you hurt yourself. That failure is a part of growth. That failure is a part of what? Maturity. That failure that they let you still exist. Let me say, still exists. Still experiment with who you are as a life. That's another form of loyalty. You see, because these days people have forgotten. Oh, you're going to love this. You see, the best loyalty has belief. The best loyalty has belief. meaning that I believe in you. I don't assign some type of esoteric support. I believe in you. You have a record, if you will. If I'm doing my homework right, you have a record, a sense or a clear indication of validity for what you do and what you believe. You know, I'm going to throw this out here. When I first became Muslim, I realized something early. And I don't want to be taken wrong. Let me throw my sister on. What's going on, sister? Sister Rabina, all the way from the UK. Thank you for coming. I realized something when I became Muslim. That there were a group of people who were going to be a good group of people come rain or shine. They were going to be a good group of people. They were reliable. And that reliability, even at a young age, that was loyalty. But there were a group of people. Oh, you're going to love this. There were a group of people that would not only frame loyalty around their own selfish self-interest, but they would make you think that God told you to do it. To give them your loyalty, to not ask questions, to see and not say anything, to witness things that were wrong, arguments, disrespect of the sisters, disrespect of the elderly. And it was okay because I was on your team. That was the thing. I was on your team. See, when you're a young Muslim, everybody try to recruit you. See, you know, and nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody likes to recruit you. We have celebrity culture amongst our imams, and you know, the imams have their students, and they have their different things. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, just I grew up in the Christian church. I get it. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. That type of loyalty will never last. That type of loyalty, brothers and sisters, is why we're in the situation we're in today, as Muslims, as non-Muslims. Because that kind of loyalty, that fake kind of loyalty, that emphasizes cohesion, right? And not even cohesion, adhesion as opposed to cohesion, it leads us to a space that we are unsteady. Let me give you a prime example. I say, adhesion and cohesion. You ever heard it say we stuck together like glue? You ever heard that? We stuck together like glue? Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing about glue, if you know what I'm talking about. Glue is as good as long as glue holds together. Glue goes through situations and scenarios and conditions. Now, brothers and sisters, there's very, very good glue. It holds together. It may lose a little bit, but you put more glue in it and it holds. And then there's glue. Ain't no adhesive in it. It's not really glue. It is not holding my hand, brothers and sisters, being my brother. It is clinging to me. Let me show you that. This is not holding this is holding my hand, right? This is clinging. You are holding me back. You're making it where we have an unnatural relationship. What am I saying? It means if I leave you, you lost. And that loyalty is the thing that's killing us today. I'm not a negative guy. I'm not. But you have to call these things out. We got to tell our children that the things that you see out here in terms of loyalty are not real examples. Let me explain it and go further. You see, loyalty is framed behind real men and real women with real ideas and real character. Real men and real women with real ideas and real character. See, you can't really have any loyalty if everybody around you has no character. That kind of loyalty is the thing that Caesar had, and you saw how that turned out. Some of these folks, you know, they say, I got you back. You know why? Because it's easy to put a knife in it. And please don't fool yourself by loyalty. Loyalty is a hard road. It's a hard road. And loyalty is built over situations and conditions. Let me tell you about my big brother, Reginald Kitchen. And please make dua for Reginald because he's having, that's my big brother. I love him, but he's having a lot of health issues. And with this COVID thing, he's been literally in the hospital the last 3 months. Let me tell you loyalty, though. When he got better, he called his wife to check on me. Brothers and sisters, how's the little brother doing? How's my little brother doing? And she had a report because I'm going, how's my big brother doing? See what I'm saying? That's a different kind of loyalty. You see, what's dispensed these days, particularly with men, is that loyalty is not built upon a pure understanding of manhood. Manhood. I talk to you guys about man babies that never grow up. But manhood frames real loyalty. Womanhood frames real loyalty. You take a solid man and a solid woman, they're going to do some things. They're going to literally do some things. And it's called building foundations. I never want to be involved with somebody or pledge some kind of loyalty to somebody wherein after 3-4 years, you haven't shown me an established foundation. If not between me with your family, if not between us with your job, if not between you and I with the community. And we say this thing over and over and over. It makes me feel old and it makes me feel at times inadequate about my own generation. This is my brother right here, Johnny L. Thomas. This brother I've been knowing since my 20s, well over 30 years now. Never had an argument. I've seen his children grow. He's been there for me. I've been there for him. And here's the best part about it, brothers and sisters. We don't keep score. That's true loyalty. We don't keep score. You know what we keep? Integrity. You know what we keep? Communication. You know what we keep? Each other in check. And if you really want to understand loyalty, understand everybody ain't got it. Everybody doesn't have it. Everybody's not going to be able to give you what you want. And when I say that, it's not to be defeatist. It's just that these are the facts. Everybody ain't got it. Everybody ain't cut out to be loyal. And for all you people out there who are loyal, damn it, sharpen up your pencil, clean your glasses off, and look at the world right now. Because you are amongst the very few. Let me give a shout out to my man Muhi. What's going on, beloved? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I grew up with men, brothers and sisters. When I say men, they were loyal to their families. Now let me frame this. They were loyal to the family. I'm not saying they were in the home or things, but they were loyal to the idea that the family had to succeed and they were a big part of that success. You know, when I became Muslim, what was interesting was not how I had interaction with Muslims in terms of loyalty. It was how I had interaction with non-Muslims and reframed, if you will, some of my relationships to be better relationships, to interject this new information, these new paradigms, these new ideas. And it made me stronger in my neighborhood. And it strengthened the bonds that I had with brothers, brothers and my parents and my in-laws and my cousins. And it lifted, if you will, it lifted the boats that we float on in terms of who we want to be and how we want to be perceived in society. If you really want to get to the bottom of it, and we'll have to get to the bottom of it, loyalty these days for a lot of folks is transactional. Let me say it again. Loyalty these days for a lot of folks is transactional, meaning I have to know what I'm getting on the way in and what I'm going to get on the way out. You see, in real friendships, you don't sign stockholder agreements. We're all stakeholders. And I bring this point up because we're entering into a space in an election year where the idea of loyalty is going to be framed around how blind you can be for the people who want your votes. How blind you could be to the people who want your votes. Yes, I'm calling out Trump, definitely. I'm calling out Biden. And if you want these people and they said, I'm loyal to you, how are you loyal to me? You don't know me. I don't know you. We don't have a relationship upon which to frame this loyalty. And nonetheless, they're going to come to the churches, the mosques, the masjids, the synagogues, the streets, any Black Lives Matter rally, any white folk empowerment rally, and they're going to tell the same lie. The same lie. I have a mantra with my little one, and we say, who's the greatest? She says, God is the greatest. I said, who's the biggest liar? And the response is, Satan is the biggest liar. I said, Satan is the biggest liar. And I said, what are his two lies? Are you ready, brothers and sisters? Satan's two biggest lies are what? I have more time and I'm better than somebody else. I have more time and I'm better than somebody else. Put those in a space in a relationship where there's supposed to be loyalty. I have more time and I'm better for someone else. Every Friday I read ShOUT. I try to read ShOUT before Juma. And there's a space in there, brothers and sisters. And I read it very carefully. I read it very carefully. This is my brother right here. Tell him how old we are, man. In ShOUT, I used to read it and I would hurry through reading it. And it talked about two men who were in a vineyard, basically. And the one guy said to the other, I'm more than you in influence in men. So he's talking about, but what they didn't say about the guy he was talking to was that guy was poor. That guy didn't have anything. And I said to myself, God, that got to be hurtful. I don't know if it's a parable that happened in the ground. I said, but that's got to be painful that somebody reminds you that I'm more than you are. I have more respect of men than you do. You see, because that right there is in the Quran. But you know what? It's in the White House. It's in the White House. I believe ShOUT is talking about that man. The man with the bad hair. The man with the button gut. The man who can't stay off of Twitter at 3 a.m. But he doesn't say it to one individual. He says it to all of us. And when he says it to all of us, brothers and sisters, he's reminding you that he is absolutely loyal to none of us. Absolutely loyal to none of us. He will trick the Constitution. He will trick the Supreme Court. He will trick the election because that's a man that has no character. If you cut him open and you look around the organs, I'm not saying you won't find a heart, but it'll be a dead heart. It won't be red, it'll be black. It'll be a dead heart. And if you interview 100 people about this guy in a room where you don't have to be scared, none of them are going to attest to him having strong character. And that devoid of a dead, that combination of a dead heart, number one, and no character, how can you be loyal? How can you build any kind of foundation, brothers and sisters? I'm bringing this up because this is potluck. If we were in a place, if COVID was not here and we were in a restaurant or we were at my house and we were all eating food, this would be the conversation we be having. But in lieu of COVID, we can't have it. So we'll have it here right now. But I expect for each and every one of you to go out. Do us a favor. Go out and talk to people about loyalty, and find out where they stand. Oh, if you open up trunk, you'll find KFC. Yeah, a couple McDonald's burgers too, sister. You're right, Sister Ravina. But let me give the man some credit. I know you're a preacher, gonna give him some credit. Yeah, I'm gonna give him some credit. You know, I'm creative. You know, some people create things that they're good, some are bad. But sometimes you have to say, look, that guy had a vision, he put it together. I can't get into what I want to talk about. I'll probably have to do it next week. But I want all y'all to know that this man came from a template. And this was a template that did not allow for loyalty. It allowed for clicks. It allowed for usury. It allowed for deception and oppression. But it didn't allow for loyalty. The loneliest man in the United States happens to be the president of the United States. Let me say that again. The loneliest man in the United States happens to be the president of the United States. And I got all kinds of facts. When the last time you saw him hang out with his kids? The young one. Everybody got a role. Daughter's got a role. Son-in-law's got a role. Son's got a role. But it's not we a family. You see what I'm saying? They just don't kick it on the weekend. And the reason they don't kick it on the weekend is because if you took all of us out of the equation, the presidency, COVID, all of that, and you put them in a room, that's a dysfunctional family. That's a family that can't understand the purpose, the merits of strong family bonds, because everything is so transactional. And I'm a family guy. I advocate for families, man. I advocate for young men, stand with their families, young sisters struggling, but, you know, hold in there and do your best. You know, the cavalry's on the way. But the cavalry has not been on the way for a while. Now you say, what does that mean, Preach? It means that you can't expect people who you don't know to give you loyalty. Loyalty will start with you. Do a self-assessment. Find your own character, if you will. Be self-critical. Like, I know when I meet my friends, you know, one of the things I always say, man, I got to be on time. Like I said, I got to be on time. I said, this is my friend. If I got to respect my friend, and part of that is my loyalty to my friend is I'm on time, and I respect the time, I'm going to be on time. Part of it is if I say I'm going to call you on Tuesday, I don't call you 2 weeks later after Tuesday. I call you on Tuesday. If I'm having a problem on Tuesday, I'll give you a text. This is loyalty. Now, there's going to be some certain situations with your friends and your buddies and your family members. Sometimes, you know what? We just get caught up in things. But therein lies the fact that they don't get upset because they know from relationships, from a causal understanding of who you are, how you got to a certain place, what's going on in your life, communication, they understand that you might have to hustle for a couple of days. So you didn't call. It didn't mean that you didn't care about them. It just means you got caught up. Now, I know I'm a little bit over time today. And it's all right. Shout out Sister Aika all the way from Indonesia. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me wrap up by saying this. I have extensive experience in relationships. If there was a PhD for loyalty, I'm not saying I have one, but I say I'd be in pursuit of it. And many of us are in the pursuit of PhD in loyalty. And the fact of the matter is you're never going to get that award. It's just situation, scenarios, and it's built upon goodwill. But I lived in Hollywood. And on a scale of 1 to 10, in terms of loyalty in Hollywood, 10 being the most, 1 being the lowest. Hollywood is probably a -5. Only thing that beats Hollywood is politics, which is probably a -12. And it didn't bother me, brothers and sisters. It didn't bother me until Trump got in office. And I work with it because people are rational. But now, as we get closer to this election, and people have not practiced, if you will, I want to say confronting people who fake loyalty, who fake the funk on loyalty. As a result, we have a crisis situation now. And you're thinking the crisis is the election. That's a small crisis. We are nurturing children, youth, in an era that's very devoid of loyalty. We can't talk about loyalty to our young brothers and sisters. We have to talk about saving yourselves, protection, the police, illness, viruses, things like that. And because of that, if you look at the root word of it, it comes from a lack of loyalty. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to get out of here. And I hope you understand what I'm saying, because I'm not being over dramatic. I don't think I'm reaching on this one. This was a call to action. I'm making a call to action, all of us, to remember and advocate for what loyalty really looks like. You know, it's the time, man, when the police would come through the neighborhood patrol, and you were like, hey, Mr. Officer, and you felt like they were loyal to the community. Where does that go? The politician would come visit, you know, the funeral of a loved one. I remember my aunt passed away. The soon-to-be mayor of Washington, D.C. came and visited and said some words on her behalf. You know, and I'm not saying they were tight. My aunt cussed him out every time she could, but she told him she believed in him. And for that, there was a loyalty there. Start in your house. Start with your children, your husbands, your wives, your brothers, your sisters, maybe a few neighbors or so. But examine the scope of loyalty with the people around you, because those are the people that matter to you most. And what we can hope is that this mandate or this paradigm of loyalty grows strong again and corrects some of the ills that we're seeing in society. It moves to fill in those voids where it hasn't been effective or talked about enough. So my brothers and sisters, I gotta go. As always, this was engaging for me. If I said something that ticked you off, I hope I didn't, but understand it was in the best of intentions. So without further ado, brothers and sisters, have an excellent Sunday, excellent Potluck Sunday. Tomorrow's Labor Day. We'll be back with another show. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your Shout Out Show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next Shout Out Show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Adhesive Cohesion. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out TarifaTar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.